That's what she says. Oh! Pain. I call her Becky with the big boots now.
Live action tango.
Wow. Yes.
There you go.
You know, Asuka says nobody's ready for Asuka, but the braid was ready for Asuka. Girl.
We are here with the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
The EST of WWE, the strongest, the fastest, the roughest, the toughest, the quickest, the greatest, the best, and your Raw Women's Champion.
Yes, so where are we today and what are we doing?
We are in Chicago at the Boys and Girls Club, and we are renewing our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, so I'm so excited anytime we can come here and just interact with the kids and talk about, you know, don't be a bully, be a star. This is what it's all about, so I'm just excited to be here today.
What do you think EST means for these kids?
EST for them just means being the absolute best version of themselves, you know, going to school and being the smart S. When it comes to be a star rally and don't be a bully, it's being the nice S to each other and just being the absolute best version of yourself.
Let's talk briefly about WrestleMania, because that was absolutely amazing. So, you know, after main eventing with Sasha Banks, some people call it one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. And then just a year after, you did another match of the night. First of all, how did it happen?
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. You know, last WrestleMania 37, when I main evented with Sasha Banks, we were the first two black females to ever main event WrestleMania. At that moment, I was just grateful to be there and be a part of that moment, and it was just bigger than Sasha Banks and I. We were making history, and just to go out there and win an SB off of that match, and just trying to prove myself to then WrestleMania 38 with Becky Lynch, and I had been chasing after the Raw Women's Championship with Becky, and at that point I wasn't a rookie in the game anymore. I was there to redeem myself, but to go back to back and have two WrestleMania wins back to back, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, but I'm just looking forward to continuing my legacy and ride this momentum.
I mean, let's talk about the entrance though at WrestleMania, the grandest entrance for the women's wrestling. It was so great. How did that come about?
You know, I've always wanted to do an entrance like that, and I always talk about, you know, being unapologetically you and bring your full self to the table. And I thought, I'm on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. How can I bring my full authentic self? And for me, an HBCU band and that type of band is what I grew up on. My high school band mimicked that style of band. And so for me, it was nostalgia for me. And just to be able to have them on that stage with me, and they helped me shine bright, and I was able, you know, hopefully to give the HBCU exposure. It was the best way to just bring my full authentic self to WrestleMania.
I love that. Now, the moment that everyone was talking about, when Becky did the Molly-Go-Roound.
Both feet to the...
Take us back to that moment. What did you feel?
Pain. I had a boot to the face. I call her Becky with the big boots now. I got a whole boot to the eye. In the moment, I didn't really feel it as much. I think my adrenaline was going, and you know, in that match, you know, from the very beginning with Becky hitting me with the rock bottom and which took me out at WrestleMania, she gave me everything that she had from start to finish, and that was just everything that she had, and I finished that match with one eye. But immediately when I got backstage, it swole up. It was black and blue, but I had the title, so that's all that mattered to me.
It's all healed up.
It's a little big. I have makeup on right now. It's still a little black under there.
Got it. So that match was clash between winners of two main events.
Yes.
So I might say that should have been the main event. What was your thought that it didn't?
Well, for me, you know, we are the only two women that have won the main event of WrestleMania.
Right.
So automatically, you know, for us, that was a huge match. But what I'll say is every match on the card was deserving to be on WrestleMania.
Right.
But I'll say that it was hard to follow that. And so when you put on a match where it's hard for anybody to follow, that means that nobody is supposed to follow it.
You're right. The fans called us Holy Trinity. You, Sasha, and Naomi walked out as champions.
We did.
What was your thought?
I love Sasha. Everybody knows how I love Sasha. And I love Naomi. But just for all three of us to walk out with the titles and, you know, be able to celebrate together, you know, I'm for any time history can be made, especially for women. So them being the first black tag team, the women's tag team to win a title, for me get to be there and be able to celebrate with them with my title as well. That's what it's all about, women empowerment.
It's especially meaningful because you talk a lot about inspiring young black women growing up.
Yeah, for me, I always live by the quote that representation is not a request, it's a requirement. It's super important to just have authentic and diverse representation. You know, with me and Naomi and Sasha, we all represent representation and diversity in our own way. We're just authentically ourselves, and I always talk about how my role models influenced me as a kid, and to think that, you know, we have that same influence on people now and it's going to change their lives. That's what this is all about. So it's just super important.
Now, you posted 3 down, 1 to go.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready to be the horse butcher or what?
Listen, I'm ready. I want to be the, you know, I feel like I'm at the forefront of a new generation of women's wrestling. And the Four Horsewomen have done amazing things. They have paved the way. They have broken so many barriers. You know, I'm not saying that they have to go anywhere. It's like move aside a little bit because I'm coming through, and I've pinned Bailey. I've pinned Sasha. I just pinned Becky Lynch. So now I'm looking forward to going after Charlotte and conquering Charlotte.
Now, there was a viral clip when you were using your hair. Asuka, it hit Asuka.
Okay, get over that performance last week.
Did you see that?
I saw it. I didn't know what was happening when it was happening. After the match finished and I was on social media, it kind of went viral, and I saw my braid. She was just unintentionally just whipping up on Asuka. So Asuka took a few whips to the eye. So, you know, Asuka says nobody's ready for Asuka, but the braid was ready for Asuka.
Maybe it's the start of Asuka versus Bianca.
You know, maybe. You know, that's what she says.
So speaking of your hair, how did this come about?
You know, when I first got into WWE, my husband was the one that really helped me out a lot because I didn't really watch WWE growing up a lot, and his first advice to me was, you want to be unique, you want to stand out. And so I had this idea of wearing this braid, but I was kind of going back and forth, and he was like, no, wear it, because if anybody comes to a show for the first time, they might not remember your name for the first time, but they'll remember the girl with the braid. So that's kind of how it started out, and then I was wearing it in the ring, and all the girls would start trying to pull it. So I'm like, I have to use it to my advantage.
Right.
So that's where the hair whip came from.
I mean, the ideas just keep flowing.
They keep flowing. It's like it was meant to be.
Right. So top stars of WWE like John Cena, Batista, even Sasha Banks with the Star Wars universe is jumping into acting roles. Is that something you might be interested in?
I mean, definitely. I'm someone that never says never. I'm someone who never imagined myself being a WWE superstar. Now I'm standing here as Raw Women's Champion. And so I'm a person that wants to use my full potential. I love being in front of an audience. I love performing. I love acting. So I would definitely love to jump on the movie scene, maybe one day be in a movie with The Rock. Who knows?
Oh, I think you'll be great for live action Tangled.
Wow. Yes.
There you go.
You
Disney.
heard that? Let's make it happen.
I'm with NBC, but Disney. Oh, my favorite thing you say, girl.
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 Teach me how to say it with the EST flair.
Sometimes I start it with a little pop, like a girl.
So we're hearing news about how WWE has shifted focus to getting more college athletes involved with WWE. As a person with college athlete background, what's your perspective on this?
I'm all for that. Like, you know, when I came in, I feel like I was one of the few that had a collegiate background. I ran track and field at the University of Tennessee. And to know that now it's maybe going to become more of a norm is great. And the NIL program, I can't imagine how it would have impacted my journey into WWE. It's just a more clear path into WWE. Gives you those resources to get to WWE, because sometimes after your collegiate career, it takes you a while to figure out, to navigate, you know, your journey. And it took me a few years, but the NIL program would have really helped me. And you know, I think I'm a standing testimony that collegiate athletes are a great fit for WWE. So I'm really excited about this program.
Hell in a Cell is coming to Chicago in June. What can we expect from EST?
Ooh, June 5th at the Allstate Arena. Hell in a Cell. I had a Hell in a Cell match last year with Bailey, so I'm a little bit of a veteran this year when it comes to Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but it's an amazing pay-per-view. It's action-packed. Anyone that, if you've never been to WWE event, you get the best of both worlds. It's sports entertainment. It's like watching your favorite action-packed movie with your favorite NFL football game. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of titles on the line, and you don't want to miss it.
Would you have some room for Chicago pizza?
Oh, always. Always Chicago. My husband's from Chicago, so I know all about the Chicago pizza.
So lastly, what's the message you have for the fans?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank all of my fans. I appreciate all the love and all the support. What I do is for you guys. And you are my ESTs, and I want you to know you have an EST within yourself too. When you find that that's your superpower, hold on to it tight, shine the brightest, be the smartest, be the strongest, the toughest, the roughest, the quickest, the greatest, the best. And thank you so much for rooting for me.